Good morning, my fellow Canadians. My name is Walter John Stewart, and I am a Canadian just like yourself, born on the shores of Ontario. I've been here in Canada all my life, and I've been watching the government for many, many years state one item but not stating the other. Today, in Canada, you and I, as Canadians, are at war with disease. It is our number one opponent to get through our daily task, to provide a healthier and greener tomorrow, to live fully like our forefathers wanted us to live in such a wonderful country. Today we will address a coronavirus disease. It is a disease recognized by the Canadian government that has flown through carriers from China to Canada. I don't care who is wrong or right for the actions that were taken to get us to this point in history. I'm only concerned about steering Canadians back to the right road. We are a very young country. We are very naive. We are a melting pot of many nationalities. And all of us, no matter where you're from originally, whether it be Scotland or China or Indonesia, I don't care where you're from. But if you're living in Canada, you are a Canadian and you are under the same grim challenge as I am. And that is a challenge of a government that knows how to stand up and tell the whole story. And this is why today I am confirming that I don't need a federal election to be the prime minister of this country. I know how to take all the advice that Canada gives me. I know how to find all the documents Canada chooses to spend taxpayer dollars on and show you the true stats of the true threat to Canadians. And the true threat is our day-to-day lifestyles that basically provide the health notes that we have to live by. Now look, here we go. We're going to look at this today. I'm going to show you 5 panels here, and I'm going to let you draw the conclusion. I'm going to let you, the Canadian citizen, decide how we are being led down this primrose path of deception that our countries want to provide us. Now here we are. This is the COVID-19 daily update. We're on the page here. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to leave these links in the description so you can look at these yourself. This is the only line we really have to look at. Canada is basing the COVID-19 as the worst health crisis in the history of Canada. And this is being blown out of control, blown out of proportion, and all these politicians should be just reprimanded and basically brought to justice, because it's not the truth. So far, there's been 740,000 tested individuals of Canada for the virus. There have been 49,000 odd cases confirmed and 11 probable cases, which is a really odd number. Okay, now let's look at the deaths. 2,766 deaths due to this virus. That's what they're stating. This, my friend, is not the worst health crisis in Canada. We've spent enough on this page. This page page numbers as it is probably because we are flattening the curve. We are social isolating or social distancing and self-isolating, I should say. But this is not the crisis at hand. The crisis at hand is immune systems that have been compromised by poor Canadian lifestyles, period, and poor Canadian education, period. Okay, and the reason why I say this is with the following panels that I'm going to share with you today. I am your new Prime Minister. I'm here to stand up and give you all the facts. And even if you want to censor me out, I am still going to stand every single day for the health of every single Canadian, because we all suffer from the same situation, and that is misinformation. And all men and women perish from the lack of knowledge. Here we go. Next panel. The COVID-19 virus is basically a contender. They want it to be a contender. They want to challenge what is actually killing Canadians the most. And on this panel, I'm going to share with you the charts published by Canada itself and the stats, and how COVID-19 is not the social disease of our modern history. Our social disease is cancer. Yes, it is. Cancer is a social disease by misinformation and malnutrition, and just simply consuming foods and items that do not belong in the human body. We'll scroll past the chart. You can see quite clearly that 29.6 percent of deaths in Canada each year are from cancer. 29.6. 30% of Canadians die every single day of cancer. And here we are. This is the big daddy that you want to read here. And this is why COVID-19 doesn't even graze me like a bullet would in battle. It is estimated that in 2020, 115,000 odd Canadian men will be diagnosed with cancer, and 44,000 odd Canadian men will die from cancer. And then we move to the next line down. 110,000 Canadian women will be diagnosed with cancer, and 39,000 of those Canadian women will die from cancer. On average, 617 Canadians will be diagnosed with cancer every day. On average, 228 Canadians will die from cancer every day this year. These cancers account for about 48% of all new cancer cases. Then we got the prostate cancer accounts, 20%, lung cancer accounts, 14%, breast cancer counts of about 25%, and colorectal cancer account for 12% of the cases. They're harsh numbers to take, but we can nip cancer in the butt, and we don't have to go do a walkathon. We don't have to give monies at the till when we shop for our groceries. What we have to know is what's causing the cancer and how to beat the cancer in the butt. And here we go to the next panel, and how we could clobber this disease that is truly the health crisis of our century. Here we are. The 12 bad foods. I've been studying the 12 bad foods since I've discovered Dr. Peter Glidden, who has put together this beautiful video. Once again, all these panels will be left in the description of this video. I'm going to get rid of this right here so we have one less distraction. The 12 bad foods as follow. They're Canadian favorites. What can I say? We're Canadians, and we know very little about the foods we eat. We go to school, we get educated, and very few Canadians can tell me or can state the 91 nutrients the human body needs every day. Most Canadians I walk to 9 out of 10. It's not even that. It's less than 10% of Canadians know the 91 nutrients the human body needs every day. And we consider us to be an educated country, but we are barely educated about what the body actually needs to be healthy and strong. 12 bad foods. Here we are. Wheat, barley, rye, oats, oil in a bottle, fried food, red meat cooked well done, meat that has nitrates added to it as preservatives, the skins of baked potatoes, yams, or sweet potatoes, carbonated beverages with a meal, Why is carbonated beverages with a meal? It's because carbonation lowers the acid in the stomach, and the acid in the stomach has to be high to digest the food. So if you put the carbonated drink in the food in the diet, if you're going to have that carbonated drink with your meal, all those bubbles are going to lower that acid, and you're not going to have digested food that's entering your intestinal tract, and you're going to cause all kinds of health problems from there. Soy and soy products. Yes, it's true. Soy and soy products, organic and non-organic, non-GMO, organic and non-GMO soy is okay, but GMO soy is easy to make GMO. I mean, most of it's the biggest GMO out there, and the um, the pesticides on these are crazy. You have to watch the video. Once again, corn. Corn is a highly GMO product. Blue corn is actually healthier for you than yellow corn because you can't GMO it. But and it has a higher oxidant. Blue corn has a higher oxidant level than blueberries. So these are 12 bad foods, and all of these foods contribute to malnutrition and higher amount of carcinogens in the human body. Now, I'm not a perfect human. I was raised on all these foods, and I have not given them all up, but I try to keep them down to 15% of my diet. And when I feel like I'm too achy in my joints or something, and I know it's not from working out, I drop the wheat. I say no more sugar drinks in the morning or what have you. Now, moving on, we're going to move to Science Daily. Canadians are a northern country, and we suffer from lack of sunlight. And lots of Canadians have shift work. Some of us work during the day, some of us work at night, but it's very carcinogenic to work at night. In the morning when you wake up because of a reason. And that reason is because the sun creeps over the eastern horizon and it raises the cortisol levels in your blood. And those cortisol levels raising in your body basically stimulates you to wake up. It's blue light from the sun. We are solar entities. We are born to live a solar life. We work during the day, we sleep at night. But today we have lights that raise the carcinogen level, the light emanating from your computer screen, from your data device, all those have blue light, and that blue light basically raises the cortisol level, and it makes you want to stay up all night long, and it can cause insomnia. If you're looking at your data device without yellow glasses at night, the reason why you can't sleep through the night is not because someone's snoring next to you or something like this. A lot of times it's because the blue light from your data device is keeping your cortisol level high, so it's hard to fall asleep and get a proper night's rest. So but we're rebellious. This is how we are. We're all rebelling against the sun. Just like the Earth is trying to leave the solar system, just like every other planet is trying to leave the solar system, we want to rebel against the light in our world that makes us alive, and that is the sunlight. That's natural sunlight cortisol stimulation that we feel in the body when we wake up in the morning. At night, we're all in artificial light. We're rebelling. We should be going home. We should be unwinding. We should be sleeping so we could be active the next day, but we're not doing that. We're staying out at the bar. We're going to see movies. We're being very active at night, and many of us will not sleep the whole night before we have to wake up again and work a hard day in Canada. Finally, folks, from Canada itself and Canada's Chief Public Health Officer, one of the number one reasons why Canadians suffer from cancer. Because a large percent of us that suffer from cancer are adults, and it's our lifestyle. We want to be like mom and dad. We see mom and dad drinking as children, and we want to be grown up. We want to drink too. They're doing it, so why can't we be like mom and dad? But alcohol is what Canadians do. And alcohol is the number one contributor that I can find for premature aging, 200 diseases, and 7 different types of cancer in the human body. Alcohol is it. It's very carcinogenic, and that's the reason why it's been tagged with a sin tax. This report, Canadians spent millions of dollars on organizing all this information about cancer in the human body, but most importantly, the alcohol. See, right here, globally, alcohol has linked to over 3 million deaths per year in 2012. It's crazy. Impacts on Canada. Well, in 2013, an estimated 22 million Canadians 15 years of age and older, almost 80% of the population drank alcohol in the previous year, with the highest percentage of the past year drinkers found 30 to 34 years old. It's a crazy report, folks. It's the reason why so many of us are actually dying. And the cancers that I mentioned on the page on the panel beforehand are directly linked to alcohol. The amount of money that we're spending on this is just absolutely out to lunch. It's more money. We spend more money on the cost of alcohol than we do on forest fires and floods and all types of other problems. But today, Canada is spending over $100 billion on COVID-19, which just doesn't hurt us like alcohol does. And what are Canadians doing with that money? These Canadians sitting on the EI. Canada has noted it itself. They know how Canadians are saving the money. Most money is electronic. They electronically put the money in your bank account. You electronically go down to the liquor store and buy their goods. And sin tax is sin tax, folks. They are basically funding your drinking, and it's up to you as a Canadian to just simply say no. And it's crazy because it actually, according to this report, people that are of old age and are dying in their old age is because these people have retired and they have lots of time on their hands. So what are they doing? They are actually drinking. It is crazy, and it's considered like anything over 1 glass a day is considered dangerous. Now let me tell you one thing that you're not going to hear anywhere else. You go search for it, you might find it. You probably will find it because I found it. But the human body has a gas tank. All right, that gas tank, that engine of the gas that runs that gas is the liver. The liver is the engine of the human body. And when you put alcohol into the body, the liver shuts down. And what does it shut down? It shuts down 417 jobs an hour, the liquor does. Every single day, let me restate that, every single hour that you are living and breathing as a human being, your liver is doing 417 jobs. And those jobs are running the body efficiently. But when you put an ounce of alcohol, just one single ounce of alcohol in your body, the liver shuts down. It stops doing those 417 necessary jobs, like fight cancer and run the heart, all these different things. And what does it do? It works to remove the alcohol out of the body. I don't care what kind of alcohol it is, all alcohol has the same effect on the human body. And it's tragic. And there is just so many people hurting from this. You got an achy joint. Were you drinking the day before? That joint is going to be aching more. Premature aging, sore back. Sore back. When you drink a sugar drink that's refined sugar, whether the refined sugar is in the alcoholic beverage or the refined sugar is coming from a drink in a bottle, that refined sugar is dehydrating the spine. The human spine is 80% water at age 25. By the time you're 60, almost half that water is gone. So your ability to handle alcohol is that much less. Because that alcohol and all that sugar that's in that alcohol that make the alcohol taste yummy is crushing that spine. It's crushing every single joint of your body, so you cannot be mobile and ready to work and be productive for that GABD. Look, folks, I will leave these here, all these links. I don't want to keep this very long, but I'm working hard for you as your Prime Minister. I've been talking about becoming the Prime Minister of this country for a long time because I stand by and I've watched this country go the wrong way. And the wrong way is find more and more deficits and more expenses in healthcare. And so many people are just going at it the wrong way. We get off and we're in the government's little candy land. Alcohol and foods, everything that we consume is regulated by the government. They spend money on these reports because they have the money too, because we pay our taxes. But the fact of the matter is, how many Canadians have read this report like I have? Very few. I don't know how many. We can't even put a stat on it. But look, I want you to share this with other like-minded people. We are all off. Our country is on lockdown by our government, and it's important that we do not put the money that they give us back in their pocket for a disease, a social disease called alcohol. It's not right. We need to be able to retire. We need to be able to bank on a greener tomorrow. And the only way to do this is to build a self-sustaining country that is ready for nuclear winter. Because one, our nuclear winter is going to happen from one or two reasons. One, there's going to be a super volcano that erupts. Or two, there's going to be a country that's so frustrated and so unhappy that it has to enforce depression on the rest of the world by pulling a trigger on many nuclear devices for not justifiable reasons. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate all your likes and comments. And subscribe, as I will give you more visions of what I see to do to become a more self-sustaining country. Our country is not Our country is not self-sustainable, folks. Our country is not sustainable, and our debts in Canada are rising every single day. And most of these debts are with foreign countries that can take us over silently because we've given them the right of hand, because we want to spend our hard-earned dollars on items that are only going to leave us ill and unable to defend and protect and build a country of much hope and well-being. All the best, and thank you for having me here at Crownland Productions. Kind regards to you all.